I'm Kendall Trotter.
And I'm Steve Hawks.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Las Vegas Real Estate Update. Today's update is going to be about mortgages, and boy, have they changed. So we're calling it Mortgages Then and Now. Steve?
Yeah.
What is a mortgage then and now?
Well, then if you had a pulse.
You get a mortgage.
That's right.
Now?
You better have a lot more than a pulse, some money and some good credit, or it's going to be rough.
A name like Trump or Win or something like that, yeah.
Very difficult these days to get loans. If it wasn't for FHA, it would be virtually impossible.
Yeah, we were talking before we did this. I said, you know what, on one of our previous updates, you said an FHA loan is the only loan you can get.
Yeah, exactly. The jumbo loans, if you're trying to get a jumbo loan right now, in Vegas, basically above 500, you're putting like 25% down if it's a depressed market. The old days then, 10% down was unheard of. No one even did 10% down. It was no money down, 5% down tops.
And you have
for
to
$1 million homes.
Clean.
Yeah, I remember Ramu was given 10% down, stated on $2-3 million homes.
Yeah.
Why their stock is $9, but they were doing it, and people that were buying the $1 million homes, they're used to putting down 5%, 10%. This 25, 35% is really hitting that market the hardest. And over the next...
well, that's serious money.
Yeah.
On 30% on a $2 million home is real money.
Yeah, it's, what is that, $600,000?
Yeah, about $600,000. So a lot of people that can afford that monthly payment may not have $600,000 liquid to put down.
Well, no, and people have been trained over the past decade, keep your money in the bank. Why would you... Everyone's used to leveraging their money.
So they want the tax write-off.
So why put that kind of money down, especially in a $1 million market? It just doesn't really make sense. And now, if you want that house, you pretty much don't have a choice anymore.
Right. Let's talk about the non-$1 million homes. Your average home in Las Vegas at $300, between $250 and $300. That's probably the bulk of our sales right now. I know in my own personal business, got a lot of FHA deals going. Having a heck of a time getting them closed on time. Buyers are angry, sellers are angry, loan officers are angry, realtors are angry, and I think basically what it boils down to is FHAs are back. They're back in a big way, but they've been gone until recently because they were replaced by the 80-20 subprime stuff.
Right.
Now, the FHA is the best deal going out there.
Well, right. A buyer should have their agent should know this, is to write, if it's the FHA, write at 45 to 60-day closing.
But this is a new phenomenon.
Right.
Only because there's only a certain amount of loan officers, underwriters, and mortgage companies that can do FHAs. What happened, people, was in 2005, from 2004 to 2006, a lot of mortgage companies got away from doing FHAs altogether because they could put somebody in the 80-20, 100%.
For 7 years, I just wrote 3 FHA deals last month that were, 2 of them were Nehemiahs. I hadn't written an FHA deal in almost 7 years. Yeah.
That's
7 years.
About the same for me too.
8 years. So, and a lot of agents don't even know what Nehemiah is. Nehemiah's a down.
And any new agent in the business right now that's been in less than 5 years probably doesn't know how to write an FHA deal correctly unless they've got the proper training, because they just weren't out there.
There was no reason to do an FHA in the past because basically the subprime loans were better deals.
They'd taken them over. I wouldn't say they were better deals, they were easier deals.
They were better deals in the fact that if a person was trying to purchase a home, the seller, especially in 2004, 2005, the seller wasn't going to kick back 3 or 6% for the down payment assistance.
Yeah.
So in order for them to be competitive at the time, they were buying 100% financing and adding 3% for the closing costs, and the buyer would get in with a decent loan, no PMI. Well, obviously, that's then. Those days are gone. And one of the reasons why FHA is so slow is because there was nobody doing FHAs then. So you didn't have the FHA underwriters, didn't have the FHA loan brokers, and now all of a sudden, that's all there is.
Inundated.
And it's bottlenecked, and add that to all the other things that is going on with the title and the foreclosures, and HUD is actually more looking into these files more than they were before, because everybody's real touchy these days with, is that file good, is that perfect? So now not only are they understaffed, they're spending more time per file.
Well, and basically what we're talking about, FHA people are just shorthanded.
Right.
Same as on the seller side with loss mitigators doing short sales and foreclosures. They're shorthanded. So it is literally taken 45, 60 days to close an FHA deal. However, on the upside, still a great deal for a buyer and still a great deal for a seller who gets to sell their house in a very tough market.
And the good thing about FHA for buyers, they're not going to be fooled by any of these option arms. It's straight up.
It's your 30-year fixed. It's a great interest rate. Let's talk about a little bit about that too. Loans then and now. People, interest rates are good now. The market, the real estate market, Steve and I talk about it every day. It's in shambles. Nobody knows what they're doing anymore. Right. The rules change every day, and then when you learn the new rule, they take it away and give you another one. However, rates are good, and I don't predict that rates will stay this way, because every time the Fed has lowered the interest rate, it hurts our dollar, and that I think that is part of the reason why oil closed at like $120 a barrel today, and gas
every
prices.
Every time they lower the Fed fund rate, the 5 and 10 year pretty much go up, that's pretty much what the loans, the 30-year loans are fixed or tied to those 5 and 10 years. So the interest rate on the mortgages are going up, even though the Fed fund rate is lowering. So I think he's pretty much done with that for a while. Hopefully,
he almost has to be.
Yeah.
I remember when Clinton was in office, if you got a 7.75% loan, you were really, really happy. And now people were like, "What do you mean I can't get 5.5? I got to pay 5.75." Well, that's still a good rate.
In '99, I believe the FHAs were 9.25. The other benefit of FHA being the main loan right now for buyers is it's real easy to compare lenders now. FHA, it's all standard, it's all government. So if someone's looking to get a loan, back in then the subprime loans, well, your rate's a little bit higher here, but your closing costs are less here. Right. So people, well, we have the option arm here where you're going to pay less here. There was a lot of confusion for the buyers, and the loan officers were just selling the loans that they were going to make the most money on. Right. Now it's FHA. Whether you go here or here, it's FHA. It's easy to compare rate, cost. It's pretty much all the same across the board. So it's almost become, loans are almost a commodity now, because it's all the same. If you're FHA, it's pretty much all the same.
Exactly. Well, back in the day of the subprime plunge, I guess, it's lenders were charging whatever they wanted, and it was legal as long as they disclosed it. Right? I mean, if they disclose it to you and you signed it.
A lot of times what the buyer wouldn't see on the subprime is the yield spread premium on the back. Right. Which I think Congress is changing that on the 1st of January. But with the FHA, like I said, it's just a commodity now. Whether you go to a direct lender or a broker, FHA is FHA, so you don't have to worry about, well, can I get a better loan here? It's a commodity.
Right. So. Very strict guidelines because it's insured by the government. Right.
You're not going to have people buying 5 homes now owner-occupied, because if they would have done this with the subprime, this would have happened. When you buy an FHA loan, that loan is registered to your Social Security number.
Exactly.
As long as it's open. Right. So somebody can't go get 5 FHA loans with the same Social Security number.
Right. So let's talk about that. FHA loans are for owner-occupants.
Correct.
If you're buying an investment home, something like that, you're still going to have to go conventional, which you still get a great rate right now. But FHAs are for people who are buying a home to live in. That's why it was invented.
Right.
And right now the rates are good. It's taking a long time to close on people because a lot of people are buying houses FHA because it's the best financing available right now to most people.
Right. The number one reason why FHA is so popular in Vegas and probably in most areas on the West is that FHA doesn't have that depressed market where these conventionals got to put in an extra 5%, which is causing people to have to come in with 5%, when FHA, you can get in for 3%, sometimes 1%. Basically no money down.
Little or no money down. FHA is the way to go if you're buying a house to live in right now. And you're going to get a great rate, and there's some deals out there.
Just patience.
You don't have to be a first-time home buyer.
No.
You just have to live in the house, and you can't have another FHA loan. You can't have an FHA loan on your house and then want to buy another house and rent that house out. You can't have two FHA loans at one time. I think we're about out of time. I think that we'll have to revisit this issue on another future update. Steve, thanks for coming in.
No problem.
I'm Kendall Trotter.
I'm Steve Hawks.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Las Vegas Real Estate Update.